Europa. We just got done yesterday having an amazing tour of the new Purus facility and their ribbon cutting, so congratulations guys. And now we are sitting down trying to get some information for you guys so that you can hear it from their mouths themselves why Purus Labs is the amazing supplement company that they are and why we choose to carry them at Southern Muscle. So, hi.
How's it going?
What's up? Alright, so tell us a little bit about how Purus started, what the idea behind creating this amazing product line was and where you think that you are heading in the next couple years.
Yeah, absolutely. First of all, thank you Southern Muscle. These girls are great. They've always supported us. Thank you Florida as well. I guess I started the line because I was ultimately frustrated with all the sports nutrition lines that were out there. I was actually working for a national distributor and selling everybody else's supplements, and not to knock everybody else, I just got ultimately frustrated being a competitive athlete, not having anything that I felt like was the caliber that it needed to be, and then I didn't have anything in the professional world to sell that was of the caliber I thought we should be selling.
Okay.
So then I came out with Purus Labs to change all that, and since then we've just continued to come out with plenty of products. We come out with products. Always the focus is athletes. I focus on what would I take before I did this, what would I take after I did this, what would I take in between this, anything that can help or mitigate certain things that would happen during a workout. I just started coming out with products that did that, and it worked because of people like you.
Yeah, we love it.
Perfect response, right? Because of girls like you, it worked.
So tell me, what are some of maybe the most, I don't even know the right word.
Some of the flagship products, maybe?
Yeah,
like Noxygen or something?
Yeah,
Right.
Sure.
Well, I mean, you guys do because you sell a ton of Noxygen. Noxygen is the perfect additive to anything that you're really taking for sports nutrition. I mean, it's an ultimate pump, but more importantly, an endurance product. I mean, in the beginning, we kind of sold it as a pump product, but really it's an endurance product that can be taken with anyone performing any type of physical activity, and we've priced it so it's easy to stomach as far as affordability to add on to any pre-workout, any amino, or anything that you're going to drink prior to performing. And you guys know from your success with stacking Noxygen with virtually everything that you sell, whether it's our pre-workouts condensed or muscle marinated, it stacks with everything that you sell very well. It's unflavored, mixability is perfect, and your customers know firsthand how important it is to kind of have that additive to add to your pre-workout that's going to help you with that endurance and that pump. So that's been our flagship product to this point. So.
And I'd like to add one thing to that. Great. It does drive blood, it does drive oxygen, and it does pump things into the muscle. But a pump is a two-way transport system. So it also is pumping the opposite direction. So it's pumping away from the muscle. What does that do? We're pumping amino acids, we're pumping blood, we're pumping hemoglobin that carries oxygen to your muscles. Now what happens once it's there? It's got to remove things and come back out into circulation. So we're also creating a system that removes more toxins. It's almost like a stronger antioxidant, if you will. By pumping more blood in, we can also, opening those venous pathways, making them wider, we can remove more of the bad things. So when you work out, that burn that ultimately causes you to set the bar down, that burn is lactate. It's hydrogen ions building up in the muscle. We're removing those as well.
So, but what are some of the other products that are your favorite from Purus?
Honestly, the most consistent product that I take on a daily basis has got to be MyoFeed. Anytime I get hungry throughout the day, sitting at the office, I don't have food, MyoFeed's the perfect meal replacement. All your digestive enzymes, Vitafiber, amino acids, whole proteins, and the macros are still very clean. We're super proud of the fact that we're one of the only companies to ever publish a certificate of analysis for the protein, guaranteeing no amino spiking. The macronutrients are still very clean, a gram of fat, gram of sugar, 3 carbs, 23 grams of protein. Any time of the day, whether it's a sweet tooth at night, first thing in the morning for breakfast, I can drink MyoFeed all day long, so if I had to pick one, it'd have to be that.
Awesome. Jason, what's your favorite product?
My favorite product is Deepall. Depot's a product I take every day, all year round.
Spoken like a true man.
I mean, honestly, it's
Like a
Depot.
test booster.
Well,
I don't agree with you
well, it's
because
natural. I
I
can
recommend
take
it to
it.
everybody that I diet.
Exactly.
What guy doesn't want to be more guy? I mean,
How many times does a guy come in for like a New Year's resolution, or for example, this year I'm going to get in the gym, I'm going to kill it, I'm going to work out hard, and they go get a pre-workout, they get a protein, an amino acid, maybe a multivitamin. But in my opinion, if you could remedy the root of the problem is lowered testosterone, especially at my age, why not take it? Safely elevate your testosterone and know that I can safely take that product back to back to back, day after day after day, and for a relative value. And of all the testosterone boosters, and I'm sure you guys carry some great testosterone boosters, but if the only one that's really sitting there with true actual research done on it by the University of Memphis is Depot. We've got true research done on that product.
I use it to raise the testosterone in men when they go to the doctor and the insurance doesn't cover their test shots. They come back to me, my doctor send it back to me to help them, and that's what I get them on Depot.
and we've seen up to 20% increases in testosterone. Literally, we have some guys, I mean, some are 12, some are in the middle, but we've seen as high as a 20% increase in testosterone from just 28 days of one serving a day of Depot. So it's clinically proven to be effective. So if their insurance isn't going to cover it, or if they just don't want to take a synthetic hormone, then logic would tell me I would start out with the natural remedy first. I would start there first. Then I would maybe move on to a prescription if that didn't remedy it. Depot may be all they need to get to where they need to be and never have to take a drug, a foreign substance, number one, and then the route of administration is normally a needle. It's probably a little bit uncomfortable for someone. I'm going to take a needle every week for the rest of my life.
Yeah, no, and it's proof with the doctor. Like, they have come to me, go 3 months later to check the testosterone, and they raise it. Like, it's really good. I have a question. I promote a lot the creatine, telling them that the nitric oxide is helping them to absorb the creatine faster in the muscles when they're working out. But I would love to have them hear from you the benefits of having oxygen in the creatine.
Okay, so Noxygen and creatine combined in something? Okay, cool. So the creatine, it does have the creatine component obviously with the name creatine. The other component that it has, it shares a component with Noxygen. So these two products are 2 ingredients apiece, roughly. We have Noxygen, nitrates, and Hydromax glycerol. Okay, nitrates and glycerol. Glycerol pulls water into the muscle for expansion, kind of like creatine. So it's drawing water into the muscles and expanding it. More cell volume means a bigger muscle. People obviously like that. More cell volume also means more mechanical leverage, and basically mechanical leverage is what you're using in the weight room. So you have more strength, more leverage, and your joints are going to have more water in them, same as your muscles. So less incidence of injury and tear when you're going for maxes and PRs like CrossFitters and stuff like that. If you're constantly doing 1 and 3 rep max work, you're tearing your muscles and joints up quite a bit. So what the Hydromax just helps prevent would secondarily would be a tear or anything like that. So you have the nitrates in the Hydromax over here, you have creatine in Hydromax over here. We're big fans of the Hydromax glycerol because not only is it that hydration agent, it's also causing that cellular expansion. So the differences in the two would be creatine in Hydromax equals strength and power. So creatine is going to increase muscular energy, and creatine and Hydromax are going to cause swelling in the muscle, so you can lift bigger weights and you look bigger. Nitric oxide kind of does the same thing. So nitrates in Hydromax are going to increase blood flow to the muscle. This one increases strength, this one increases blood flow. So you want both. Obviously, like you're saying, put both in whatever pre-workout you're taking. Hopefully you're taking condensed or muscle marinade, but if you're taking something else, you still want creatine and oxygen in there so that you get more strength and power and you get more nitric oxide. And then the Hydromax glycerol component is just more overall cell volume and hydration. So both $20, both good, flavorless, throw them in anything. I put that shit on everything. Sorry, I had to say that.
But it's okay.
So where do you see Purus heading? Like, what are you guys coming out with new products? Like, what can your fans or your loyal customers expect?
What do you want to give them?
Well, I'm glad you asked. Okay, we are going. You'll notice our packaging went from black labels to white labels. That was just that mainstream marketing shift from the white labels, and the reason we did that, we have gained quite a bit of a female audience. We've gained quite a bit of an elderly audience, things like that, as being in bigger channels and things like that, more mass market appeal. So we want to do greens blends, probiotics, because a lot of people don't know that we're our own manufacturer. We're a GMP certified, Informed Choice for Sport certified, and certified organic manufacturer. Even though we have no organic products, we're an organic manufacturer for other companies. So we already have a greens blend and a probiotic, joint formulas. We have more mass appeal type products ready to go whenever the market, demands that. So we've been sport and athletic performance for so long, and we built such a good synonymous name for quality, like now we're jumping over into that other arena with greens blends, probiotics, things like that whole health. We'll still continue to have killer sports products, but we're smarter than just sports. We have way more to offer the world than just sports nutrition, so we're going to offer all kinds of things.
Yeah, the wellness.
Yes.
Since 1.3 billion.
Way more than athletes.
Yes.
Way more people just want to be healthy.
Yeah.
And so we want to help them too.
People is realizing that you know all anymore at 50, you all when you turn 90, and they want to change their life. Because from 50 to 90 is a big.
Not everybody just wants a big bicep.
Question for you. I want you to explain to my customers the difference between the amino B and the everyday amino.
Okay.
Tell them why they need both.
Absolutely. Okay, so amino D is a more comprehensive amino acid. So there are essential amino acids and there are non-essential amino acids, as most people know. Amino D is an essential amino acid. So all the research over the last 10 years or so has shown that it's not necessarily what you take right after you work out. Like everyone took post-workouts the past 10 years, you hear everything about take your protein shake after you work out, do this after you work out, carbs, things like that. All the research started showing that taking an essential amino acid complex before you work out would actually prime the muscles, prevent the breakdown or catabolism, and then encourage the recovery. So then it wasn't so much about post-workouts being the cool thing. It was, what do we take before we work out to make sure that we're going to recover and that we don't break down, excess muscle, things like that. So then it became, what do we take at that point? So now we know we can take amino acids before we work out and protect and encourage a faster recovery time between workouts. But then it was like, well, what amino acids? There are 20 of them. So which ones, number one, at what levels and ratios, and then at what amount? 4 grams, 5 grams, 6 grams? So there were 3 big questions that I was left with on how do I formulate an amino acid? Most people just throw aminos in a jug and flavor and say there's our amino acid, and there's no rhyme or reason behind it. And that's 99% of the companies out there. It's just what it is. Ours was a very, very, very specific formula, and you can see it on the bottle. And that was because we did just a huge amount of research, looked at every amino acid paper in humans, and then came up, Dr. Bloomer out of the University of Memphis and myself, came up with this formula of amino D, and it was to essentially block catabolism, the breakdown of muscle, and encourage anabolism, which is the building of muscle. So build it, don't break it down. That's what amino D was about. Everyday amino is a 5-to-1-to-1 branch chain amino acid. So 3 of the amino acids, 3 of the essential amino acids are branched chain amino acids: leucine, isoleucine, and valine. Amino D was a comprehensive, full spectrum essential amino acid. Branch chains are just 3 of the 10 essential amino acids. So we isolated just 3 of the amino acids in amino D, but greatly heightened their amounts to make it's a branch chain amino acid formula. So we greatly heightened their amounts. It's a 5-to-1-to-1 leucine to isoleucine to valine ratio. What that does is that increases. This is getting super sciencey, but mTOR. It increases mTOR within the muscle, which is going to increase growth. That's what both amino acid formulas are designed to do. I would say amino D would be more full spectrum and going to accomplish that mission better. But if I was going to drink one just throughout the day, or I was extremely flavor sensitive, like a lot of women seem to be, or young children, instead of a Gatorade or something, then I would use everyday amino, because that's essentially what it was for mass market, grocery, things like that, to be able to, the wife, the kids, everybody, not just the performance athlete that will take anything. So that's what amino D was. This was the, now let's take kind of through a strainer and the best parts of amino D, let's put over here in a little more simplistic formula that tastes a little better. for females and children and things like that. And then it actually took off and superseded amino D. So, take whichever one you want.
Well, plus the gram of prebiotic fiber that's in
100%.
everyday
Gram
amino
fiber.
as well. I mean, it helps with the absorption of all the nutrients you're drinking throughout the day, plus it helps with digestive health as well. So whenever you're drinking...
Helps it taste a little better too. It just get a better mouthfeel.
But a lot of times you see people carrying the gallon jug of water, they struggle, they have the times on there. Having everyday amino in there just because of the taste, it's going to help you drink that throughout the day. Plus the prebiotic help with digestion is a good thing as well.
Well, one of the bigger benefits right there is that the amino D is an expensive formula. It's an expensive formula. Not everyone has, in the mid $30 range to throw down on an amino product when they're buying a pre-workout, they're buying a protein, and they're buying a testosterone booster. Sometimes those things don't just fit into your budget. So from a consumer standpoint, we still want you to be able to get the things that you're going to need. And at $19.99, somewhere around that ballpark right there, around that $20 range, it's huge for customers. I mean, I sit around and drink amino D after I perform hard or before I perform hard, but everyday amino is something I drink all day long, every day in the time.
It's the everyday.
Well, thank you.
Well, and it can get expensive drinking aminos all day long. So
That's awesome. This has been really educational. I'm sure that all of our customers are really going to appreciate your time, and we appreciate you guys taking the time to talk to us about some of your products.
So thank you so much.
Thank you, Southern Muscle. Thank you, Southern Muscle.
Jason, what are we doing?
we're touring our manufacturing facility. This is the lab. This is one of our tests.
We're gonna follow Daniel.
So these are, for example, all the raw materials. All the raw materials that we get come in like this. We sample everything. For example, this is a flavor, but we still have to make sure that it's the right flavor. It tastes right. We actually smell it, taste it. It's not blueberry, whatever. It's happy. We actually know. So this is how it starts. We get all these samples. We make sure that everything is right, and after it gets approved, they can actually start putting everything in the mixers, in the blenders, but not until we check everything. Then after that, we do checks for in-process compounding. So whenever they actually mix and discharge all the powders, they bring us a sample, and we do anything as simple as just taste, color. If it doesn't taste right, we send it back, and then it gets approved, and it finally gets bottled like MyoFeed. And we actually do all the testing on the finished good as well. So we test a lot just for one actual product. So Erica's our chemist. She is actually in charge of doing most of the tests when it comes to finished goods, especially Purus at this moment. We check for amino spiking. That's what this is for. So this is called an HPLC. You can actually run all 20 different branched amino acids or single amino acids, and that's how we can actually make sure that there's no free-form amino acids in here. This is the micro section. When we started, we were doing micros that would take 5 to 7 days to finish, one round of testing. But this new technology is pretty cool. It's called the Biolumix, and it actually lets us turn around test in 48 hours. So it's quite So whenever they heard, okay, that's how much quicker stuff is gonna get out, they're like, okay, get some. And we actually just got 2 more because we're just getting so much busier. But it's really kind of how it goes.
A little bit bigger than what you had in the last one.
Oh man, the kitchen was awful.
Moving the lab, we're like moving over here, moving the lab over here, moving the lab over here.
Yeah, they upgraded, and Daniel got to pick out all of the things that he needed and wanted. So we were like, this is your space, fill it how you want. So
I actually bought everything.
he did.
It was fun. It was exciting.
Oh, cool. Yeah, that's cool.
So all right, we can move on down this way. There's people in there. Break ground before, and then normally if we were running, we would all have to suit up. Obviously we're a manufacturer, so we have to make sure everything's clean, sanitary, all that fun stuff. But since we're not running and everything's good right now, we're just gonna go on back here. These are our 3 main production lines. This is our capsule line. So after the powders are encapsulated, they have to get filled into bottles. And this is the line that they go down. So we pour the capsules in to that hopper right there. Comes down to the little bottles and goes on down the line. And that leads out into the warehouse. We'll go down there in a minute. And then these are our 2 powder lines. So this is where like proteins, pre-workouts, all of the straight full stuff would get involved. And again, we pour the powder into the hopper, it goes on down the way. Sometimes the light won't turn on until like in the middle of the room.
Nice try.
No, you have to dance. You forgot that you have to.
Let's get you out there.
Yeah, some dance.
In all of our production rooms, you'll see there's big ductwork coming out of the ceiling. This is our big dust collection system. So in the warehouse, I'll show you where it actually all goes and gets filtered through. But that's to help keep our facility a lot cleaner. Of course, powder plumes up and can make a mess. So that is to kind of help capture some of that so everything's not coated in extra powder that gets floating around. So that's what all of that is. You'll see it in all of our small rooms as well. So we kind of went a little bit backwards, but this is really where the process starts, and we can go on in here. So to start off the entire manufacturing process, we pull obviously the raw ingredients from the warehouse. They have to come in here and get weighed. We have scales in both of these rooms. We have 2 sets of these like staging and weighing rooms. Oh yeah. They weigh them out, and the mixers take them to one of our 3 mixing rooms. So this is our smallest blender. It's kind of a little baby mixer. So this used to be our biggest one. Then we upgraded a little bit. So obviously with this, we're able to mix a lot bigger batches. Don't have to break them into small parts like we used to. So this has helped us out a lot.
This was actually the original blender.
Yeah.
The small little V blender.
Yeah.
This was like where we started off. We're at the end of ours. No, this is where like a lot of stuff happens.
Yeah, this is where the
So
line
things
goes
go down. Okay, so all that was made in there. That door would be shut. There'd be workers out here. Once it exits, it's climate controlled out here. But still, you have cardboard. You have corrugated material, which could be microbial. So we have to keep that separated. So we put these holes in the wall and we run the product out here. Once it's out here, it's completely sealed, so it's fine. It's air conditioned. Nothing can get to it. We have girls standing right here. They still just manually wipe the bottle for just one more cleanliness. Just make sure there's no dust on that thing, and then they package it out right here. See ya! We all saw Willy Wonka. That's another question. We all saw Willy Wonka. Step in then. Come on, come in. It's gonna do it again. Okay. So this table would be full of tons of bottles, and they're grabbing and they're wiping and they're packing.
All right, and then we're gonna go back into this other side over here. Oh, more
You're fine.
pictures.
They're a mess.
Oh.
Done, Jason.
This is
I was trying, at least. You're nervous.